Hi, I'm Mark Monlux, and this is your Friday night movie recommendation. So the year is 1975. Man, I loved 1975. Uh, I was still in high school, junior high school. Oh my God! So I was still a kid, and I was having so much fun because there was a lot to have fun with. Okay, so here are some of the things that were happening at the Oscars. The Godfather Part 2 went away with Best Picture. On the New York Times bestseller list, Centennial was popping right off the shelves because 1976 was going to be the U.S.'s big centennial celebration. So that book had to get out just in time. And I read that thing. Oh man, it was great. Even did a miniseries. But I loved the book. Great piece of fiction. Oh my God, so many good shows premiered that year. Beretta, less said the better. Barney Miller, The Jeffersons, Wheel of Fortune started up. Space 1999. Oh man, I loved that show. Wonder Woman. Oh, Welcome Back, Carter. The Donnie and the Marie Show. I guess you had to be into the Osmond family to really enjoy that. Uh, the Jeffersons. Just so many others, but that's what was premiering on television. All those shows would have a fairly good run. So let's see. Cultural wise, well, Bill Gates founded Microsoft in 1975. Let's see. The end of the Vietnam War ended with the fall of Saigon. President Ford met with President Sadat of Egypt for the Middle East peace talks, and he famously fell down the stairs coming off Air Force One. Jimmy Hoffa was reported missing. They never found him. NASA launched the Viking 1, which was a probe to Mars, which, oh my God, I was so excited about hearing that. I'm a big NASA fan myself. And some of the things that were, man, there were fads. Pet rocks came out. And yes, my family had a pet rock. We figured we only needed one. But did you know that Lego minifigures just started coming out in 1975? Then we also had Miller Lite and a Japanese arcade game would take the world by storm. Whack-a-mole. So that was some of the things that were coming out in 1975. Now, there were also a slew of really good horror films. Oh man! Of course, there was Jaws, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Stepford Wives. The Trilogy of Terror was a made-for-TV movie, and then you had the one that would come and affect the whole genre, Deep Red. But the one I'm going to mention is the one I got to see, and I'm sure not a whole lot of you have seen this one, and I'm going to recommend it because it won me so many bar bets. You gotta remember that this is 1975. The internet was decades off, and your trivia knowledge had to be locked and loaded with other factual resources like books and things, and there was this. So I would go into a bar and I would sit down and I'd say, "Hey, I can name a movie that William Shatner and Ernest Borgnine was in," and they go, "What? Really? Yeah." And then I could also, I said, "So you want to put a bet? Put it underneath this glass. Taking your bets here. I bet I can name that." And I said, "Oh, I also can, want to do another bet? I bet I can name John Travolta's first movie appearance. They went, what? So take bets for that one too. Be on a piece of paper and the answer, and I win money because it would be a double or nothing, and it was the same movie. And yes, I am talking about The Devil's Reign. Oh my God. Perfect time for Satanists. I mean, the 70s, everybody was Satanist. The fear of the devil was really coming in from about 1972 through about 1982. There was all these Satanist conspiracies, and cops were sure that teenagers were being, lured into cults. And anyway, it was just nuts. It was sort of like a little bit of a cultural phenomenon. So not to be too surprising, there were more than just a couple movies that dealt with, Satanists. And yeah, William Shatner and Ernest Borgnine. Oh, should I go into details? Well, let's see. What happens? Well, it turns out this family was cursed and by Satanists, and so they're having, decades and generations later, the curse comes up again, and they're having to deal with it. And how do you fight Satanists? And people don't believe you when you say somebody's a Satanist, and they think you're mad. So there's a lot of fighting for your soul and okay. But I liked it because of the special effects. There were so they had to do some special effects with people's faces. And here's a wonderful bit of trivia. So William Shatner had to get his face cast for this. And there was a mask making company took the cast, and it was called the Halloween Company, which it becomes very ironic once I'm sure you all know where this is going. Anyway, so these really terrible masks of William Shatner's get produced. Well, this is where some prop guys go into a magic shop and find one of these William Shatner masks, and they spray paint it white, and it then becomes, and then they cut out the eyes a little bit, and it becomes the mask that Michael Myers wears in the movie Halloween. How's that for a rolling tie-in? I wish I had known that little bit of trivia back in the day, because I could have won more money at bars. Anyway, my recommendation for you tonight is to track it down. You should be able to find it somewhere. The Devil's Reign. Ernest Borgnine always claimed that he never got paid for this film, and that was done on mom money. And who knows? Oh man, 1975. What a year. If you like my movie recommendations, please do the click, follow, and subscribe. I look forward to your support, and I'll see you next week.